Hey there, Corey Lennox here. So today was a huge day for me because the YouTube channel finally hit 10,000 subscribers, which honestly, I didn't know I would ever get to that point. I didn't know if it was in the cards for me, so this was an awesome day. My wife and I did a shot earlier, we did like a little toast. So I'm feeling good and I want to explain to you how I did what I did and just give you the insight that I can give. Now I've watched a lot of videos on this kind of thing and a lot of them say the same kind of beats. So I wanted to make sure that I give you the actual meat and potatoes of what was helpful to me. And some of it might be something you've heard before, but a lot of this I think is going to be very pertinent for you. So this is geared specifically for musicians, but even if you're not a musician, I still think these tips and tricks are really going to be awesome. So we're gonna get into that in a second, but if you haven't yet, definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. Now, step number one is to niche down and have an angle for your channel. This was something I was really bad about on my first YouTube channel. This right here is my second, but the first one I ever did, I had like progressive rock music and acoustic Taylor Swift covers and funny videos and Christmas music and soothing piano instrumental tracks. It was as disparate as you can possibly imagine. It was all over the place. And the problem with that is when you click on a YouTube channel, you want to know what you're getting from this creator. So if you went to my old channel and you saw like Joy to the World with Candy Canes, Taylor Swift, and then like really low-key piano music, you'd be like, what is this guy doing, right? Like, I don't know if I subscribe what I'm gonna see, right? So you want something that's gonna get people excited and where they're gonna say, I know exactly what this channel is all about. For instance, there are pianists who do video game music, there are artists who do acoustic covers of songs, and that's kind of their thing, like Boyce Avenue. But it is kind of a balance because at the same time, you do want to experiment with different ideas when you're starting out. You want to figure out what your thing is. What are people responding to? What do people like from you? What do people want to see more of? So try to find like a general umbrella of what your channel is, go in with an idea, and then do some experimenting and then double down on what's working for you. So with that said, let's go on to the next tip, which is that more is not better. I really got into a I guess tizzy, I don't know if that's the right word, but I was really confused about like how often I was supposed to post. Once a week, 3 times a week, every single day. And the advice you'll hear is that more is better. And algorithmically, maybe, but here's the thing. You probably don't have the bandwidth if you're just starting out to make quality videos every day, or even 3 times a week. As a musician, we need to make sure that what we're putting out is the highest quality we possibly can, and that quality trumps quantity every single time. And I actually did an experiment where for a year I scheduled out 3 videos a week, and it was so much work. I mean, it was an insane amount of work to schedule out 3 videos a week for the whole year, and the quality suffered because I remember I found myself taking shortcuts like, oh, people really enjoyed this nursery rhymes in minor key video. Why don't I chop it up and do each individual nursery rhyme and then I can do like 1 a week. And so then my channel was flooded with a bunch of like minor key nursery rhymes. And I remember some of my subscribers were even a little confused where they were like, why is he doing this? Like, is he trying to tell us something? Are we gonna find out that he's scoring like an evil baby movie? Like, what is this, right? And honestly, it hurt me more than it helped me to post so often. That was one of the periods of the lowest growth I've ever seen on my channel. So for me, more was just actually damaging. I would say it's better to do 1 video a month and that video is incredible than to do 3 videos a week and they're kind of lackluster. And especially in music, you see people who don't upload that often, like Peter Bence, a lot of musicians that just sort of maybe they do 1 a month, right? But it's really high quality, it's professionally shot, and people really resonate with what they're doing. So that's what you want to think about. Don't get all messed up about the amount of uploads that you're doing. Just focus on making each one as good as you can. Now that said, the next step is to be consistent. And this is the piece of advice that everybody gives you, but it's true. And the most helpful analogy I ever heard was this. Think about the stone cutter, right? He hits the stone over and over again and nothing happens. But then on the 500th hit, it breaks apart all at once. So YouTube is kind of the same way. You're not gonna see results for like the first year, right? If you're not willing to do YouTube for at least a year, probably more, without getting any kind of reward for it, it's probably not the right move for you. You have to do it because you like to do it, not because of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or you're gonna give up. So be consistent, keep to that one time a week, because that consistency, more than anything, that's what's going to push you to the next level and show YouTube that you're serious. And that segues into the next tip, which is that you wanna focus on the algorithm. I did a lot of things trying to get traction early on that seem like good ideas and some things that people tell you to do, but they weren't really that helpful. So what I mean is I was posting on Reddit, and it's really tricky because Reddit, they don't like self-promo, right? But I was able to make it to the top post on the piano page with my very first video on the piano subreddit. I was able to make it as the top post, and I think I got like 30 subscribers from that. So it wasn't a huge deal. I got a few thousand views. I got like 30 subscribers. So it was a flash in the pan. Later on, I even went viral when Jenna Marbles reposted one of my videos, and that was incredible. I got like 600 subscribers in that one day. But then after that, it was pretty much crickets. It didn't lead to my channel being like on this new level of success. No, it was this huge spike in my analytics. I'll put it up on the screen. And then it just went right back down for like years after that. So these flash in the pan moments, the viral moments, the Reddit reposting, it can all be cool, but really you need to focus on YouTube liking your videos. Because what really put me over the top, this past week, I got more subscribers in a week than I did like my first year of YouTube. And that's because YouTube picked up on the signal that one of my videos is very valuable. And the way it does that is it looks for watch time and engagement. So you want a video that people watch a lot of. You also want a lot of engagement on that video. So, the standard thing that people say is it's better to get more minutes watched than more percentage watched. So what I mean by that is if I upload a 10-second video, I'll probably have like a 90% watch time, but it's only 10 seconds, right? So YouTube is only saying, okay, they're on YouTube watching this for 10 seconds. That's not that impressive. On the other hand, if I have an hour-long video, you might only watch 50% of it, but that's 30 minutes. 30 minutes is way more watch time than most YouTube videos out there get. So the videos that have done well for me have been the longer form content. I've got a music theory course that's over an hour long. It's a very beginner course, but people have loved it. I've got an ear training video that's, I think, about half an hour long. And these two are some of my heaviest hitters that YouTube promotes to other people. So focus on the watch time, the engagement, try and get in the suggested videos, and you do that by sort of following what other creators have done. And that's actually the next tip. You want to research what other creators in your niche are doing. And I totally skipped this step. When I started, I said, what do I want to do, right? I'm just gonna screw it, like let's try some random stuff. So what I thought was gonna be popular, I did like Beethoven as dubstep, I did Mozart, but as a rock thing. So I was doing these mishmashes of like classical and other genres. And I thought, well, if people want to watch Fur Elise, if there's like millions of views on that, who wouldn't want to watch Fur Elise as dubstep, right? Or if Rondo alla Turca by Mozart, if people are watching that, just playing with piano, how much cooler will it be with drums and bass behind it and guitars? Well, for whatever reason, YouTube didn't like those videos as much. And I tried a bunch of different things. But really what I should have been doing is researching what's already popular and making videos kind of like that. So I know it sounds kind of boring if you're a very creative type like I am, that's not as exciting. You can still do your creative stuff, but don't make it the only thing you do. Maybe 1 out of every 5 videos is something off the wall that no one's done. But maybe 4 of those 5, I don't know why I held it over here. Maybe 4 of those 5 are based upon what's already getting a lot of traction. So watch other people's videos. Look at how they're setting up the shots. Look at how the flow of information is going. What graphics are they using? Do they have background music? Really pick it apart and figure out why people like these videos. Another quick tip nested into this is to make the intro of your video super impactful. Gone are the days of taking 10 minutes to get to the point or doing like a 1 minute long bumper intro thing. No, you need to just get right into it because people have no patience right now. And fair enough, you're competing with a lot of information. So I would say research and emulate and always try to improve what you're doing. Every day try to make your videos, or every video, try to make it slightly better than it was the last time. What can you improve on? Can the audio quality be better? I'm trying to improve my video quality right now. I'm doing like a blurry background thing. So I'm always trying to improve something. And this leads me to the next tip, which is you want to be as entertaining as you can or as educational as you can. So these are the two big E's, entertaining and education. You see, as a musician, we can kind of fall into this trap where we're making these videos that aren't super entertaining and maybe they're not all that helpful either. So what I mean by that is I was uploading piano covers of me just playing like 1,000 Years on the piano, which is nice, but there's a bunch of people covering things on piano. I think if you just saw like some piano cover, you wouldn't race to click it. You might if you're specifically looking for it, but that's not gonna like stop you in your tracks on the feed. And it's gonna make it really hard for YouTube to sense that that's a video that people are excited about, right? Or if you're just sort of singing and playing a song that a lot of other people have sung and played, like why do I wanna watch another cover of High and Dry by Radiohead when there's already 50 of them? So what's your angle? What are you gonna do to make it entertaining? Are you going to sing it in a minor key? Are you going to, like do a different instrumentation where maybe it's, a piano version instead of acoustic guitars? Like you gotta make something interesting. You gotta pique people's interest. And, like let's say you're doing a Disney song. Maybe you're doing a rock version of it. Maybe you're doing something like Postmodern Jukebox where you're taking it to a swing style. And I know it sounds gimmicky. I always kind of thought that kind of thing was, like I said, sort of gimmicky, and I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to do a really good cover. But you have to make it exciting. Now, the other thing is you want things to be educational. Like I said, the two biggest videos on my channel in terms of subscriber gain have been my long form educational content. And I already kind of talked about that. So the last thing I'll say is you're adding value to people. You're helping them, which is a really positive thing. Like you should be able to get excited about that. And you want to think, how can I get this person from point A to point B the best way possible? Like, that's how I approach my ear training video. How can I just really concisely go from point A to point B to point C and keep them following along and explaining it well and keeping it interesting? You just want it to be as direct and as punchy and as helpful as you can. So I get really excited about teaching because you really are making an impact in people's lives. So, entertaining, educational. And so now here at the end of the video, I've got an optional bonus tip for you. This is totally optional, but if you can, it doesn't hurt to put some money into a professional video where you actually get a videographer to help you frame a performance in a really cinematic way. Or an educational video with really great graphics that like animate in and out, right? Paying someone to up your video's quality is a great way to get a leg ahead. And I didn't think this kind of thing matters, but quality, obviously on YouTube, it's a video platform. The information itself isn't the only thing that matters. How you deliver the information or the performance is almost just as important, if not more important. Now, obviously more professional isn't always better necessarily. Sometimes it's better to be more direct and authentic and stripped down, right? Point is, the quality still matters, right? Even if it is something more intimate, you still want to make sure it looks good and sounds good. All right, let's recap here. We talked about niching down, making sure that people know what your channel is about. We talked about how more is not better, and uploading once a week is the ideal starting point. We talked about being consistent and making sure we do that one time a week upload, month after month, year after year, because it takes a long time to get started. Hopefully we can keep your journey to you'll start seeing some progress in about a year, but be prepared for it to take longer. We talked about focusing on the algorithm. In other words, prioritizing watch time and engagement above anything else that you're worried about. Don't get lost in all the weeds of posting on message boards and on Facebook groups and optimizing your keywords. All that's important, but the best thing is to have a good video that YouTube likes and that people like. We also talked about researching and emulating what other videos are doing really well in your space. We talked about being as entertaining or as educational as you can. And the last thing we talked about is it doesn't hurt to spend a little bit of money upping the quality of your videos. Oh, and one last thing, never pay for promotion. Okay, it's always a scam. They're always gonna send bots, even if it looks super legit and they say, our content marketing is completely organic. It never is, it's always bots. So unless you're doing like a collab with someone, or you're doing something that is like someone's reposting your video on their Facebook page, whatever it is, if it's not that and it's just throwing 30 bucks at some random website or 100 bucks at some service, it's gonna be bots. Don't do it. It's gonna hurt your reach, it's gonna hurt your algorithmic details that YouTube is looking at, and it's really gonna stunt your growth in the long term. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a comment below about other things you wanna hear me talk about. Maybe there's a certain subject in here that you want me to go more in depth on. Maybe you have a question. Let me know. I'm going to be checking the comments out. So I'll talk to you there. All right, take care and see you next time.